G'day and welcome to another big edition of the MCDFNL Netball Show. All thanks to our friends at Bendigo Bank. I'm joined by Grant from the Maryborough Advertiser. Thanks for joining us, mate.
No worries. I know it's a netball show, so I probably should have left the work to the great Ashlyn McInnes, who does my netball reports in the Advertiser. But I've been reading her at work, so hopefully I can get enough information out to the people about what's going on in the MCDFNL Netball.
Probably the premier journalist for netball in the MCDFNL, which is fantastic, and two bumper editions of the Advertiser to check out every week. We'll go through round 10 results, just a bit of a refresher. We had Carisbrook that were too strong for Campbell's Creek by 60 goals, 76-60. Harcourt won a thriller over Avoca, 44-41 by 3 goals. Lexington took down Maldon by 35 goals, 63-28. Navarre were taken down by the Rovers by 24 goals, 58-34. And we had a thriller between Natty and Denali where the Swannies got up 35-33 by 2 goals. Trentham got up over Talbot as expected, 79-26 by 53 goals. And then the thriller where Royal Park take down Newstead by 3 goals in some pretty good performances there. So it all shapes up to be a big round of netball in round 11, mate. And when we talk about the footy, how anything can sort of happen, we've pretty much expected that from the netball competition this year. Yeah,
it's always a good even competition. Trentham are obviously leading the way, reigning premiers. Carisbrook are right up there as well, and then it's pretty much open book further down the ladder. So that's what you want to see in the competition, especially with only 6 rounds to go. I mean, anybody can sort of make finals, and then I think Trentham probably premiership favourites, deservingly so. But I know Carisbrook are making waves as well.
Maldon mathematically sitting in 10th, they're still possible of making finals. So we've got a sort of a 10-team scenario, much like the senior footy. So there's a fair few similarities there. We'll turn our attention to the first game. We've got Avoca and Navarre. We've got Avoca sitting in 6th and Navarre, well, they're sitting just one game outside the top 8. Avoca have been a pretty well-drilled side this year. This is a game where they'll go in feeling a lot of confidence.
Yeah, absolutely. Avoca have been a good side, but they just did have that slip-up as well. So, and Navarre are getting better. They were sort of nowhere to be seen in the early weeks, but they've got better in recent weeks, and I'm pretty sure Jess Parry's back playing for them.
Yeah,
there's not many better netballers getting around than Jess Parry, so how much of a difference she makes, it could be a bit of a danger game for Avoca. Probably doesn't look like it on the ladder at the moment, but they'll just want to come in and get a good win. But I don't think Navarre are going to roll over in any more games with Jess Parry down there controlling things again.
Exactly. I mean, they had a tough one against the Maryborough Rovers side in their last outing where Jess did play, but the Rovers side, they were playing with some great flair and great brilliance, as we expect from a top 4 side. So for Navarre, they'll need to throw the kitchen sink at this one here because of results. If we look at Natty, have got Royal Park, and which they're sort of expected to win, then all of a sudden if Navarre lose, their finals race could just be about done and dusted.
Yeah, and that's probably reflective of the start of the season they had, but if they can start winning some games and get to finals, well then once again Navarre have got the finals experience. I know they've got a very different team, but they've still got plenty of talent out there to compete with anybody, and it'll be a good size game to see how they're travelling at the moment for 6th and 9th. How big of that gap really is.
Yeah, Avoca are really good there. They're quite switched on. They're one of a couple of teams that are sort of they're looking to knock on the door on the top 4. So a win here would be very handy for them. We've got Maldon Newstead's game between 2 sides in the bottom half of the ladder, and I think both teams sort of just playing for pride at the moment.
Yeah, well, having a look at the ladder, it's probably Maldon's last roll of the dice to make any sort of play for the top 8. So you'd want to say that they're going to get the win. Newstead have got the 2 wins though. There's only a win between them. Yeah, tough one to pick, but let's go by ladder positions. Probably Maldon going to take the chocolates.
Yep, Maldon, after a good start of the season, they need to get some of that confidence back after showing some good signs early. We've got Campbell's Creek and Trentham. Well, this is a battle between top and bottom.
Top and bottom. Unfortunately, probably say no more. Trentham are playing very good netball, showing why they won the premiership last year. And Campbell's Creek, definitely more competitive than they have been in past years, and they've got the A-grade side back up and going, which is great. So, probably just quarter by quarter basis for those guys. Trentham might use the opportunity to play around, but I know that they like to settle their list. Erin Richardson is pretty happy with the positions that she's got. She knows what her players can and can't do, so it'll be more about just executing on the weekend and getting a big win.
It'd be a chance for the young team as well. They've got 3 16-year-olds playing key roles in that team and doing a magnificent job. cracker of a game, this one. We've got Carisbrook and Maryborough Rovers. We've got 2nd and 4th. There's 2 games separated in 2 sides, but Carisbrook, like their senior footy, mate, they have been pumping sides.
Yeah, going really well, and the addition of Laura Hurst at the start of the year was probably the biggest in netball this year. So going very well. Rovers definitely starting to find their feet. They've had those 2 draws. If they didn't have those 2 draws and they were wins, they've got 8 wins and they're right up there. So probably a little bit underestimated this time of year. And then they've got that superstar in the middle with Brianna Dalrymple Munro. So she's come across in the Bendigo League and has done a lot of good things over there. So some good matchups in this one. You just have to go with Carisbrook at the moment, the way they're travelling, but definitely don't write Rovers off.
I think you're spot on there, mate. I think Carisbrook will be too strong, but there'll be a lot of interest in the next game we'll look at. It's Denali and Lexington. Now, should Lexington taste victory and Maryborough Rovers go down to Carisbrook, well, Lexington will shoot into the top 4, and I think that's a position they deserve to be in after a slow start to the year.
Yeah, Lexington have found their feet, but then by the same token, if Denali go down, you know, they're going to be in danger of slipping out of the 8. So there's plenty on the line for them, and Denali have had a bit of a tough run of matches, but they're doing a really good job, especially with the way the club's travelling as a whole. The A-grade netball is really something to point to and say that, you know, as a club we can achieve good things. And they've got some really good players in there. Ash McClellan's come across to play with Ash Lyric, and those 2 are really dynamic. And then you've got Sophie McQuinn in there as well. So I wouldn't write Denali off. And at this stage, I'd probably nearly tip Denali. I got to watch them play last week, and they played some really, really good netball against Natty, which is a similar ranked side to Lexington. So we'll see what happens, but maybe a bit of an upset with Denali this one.
Yep, it'll probably be the closest game of the weekend, no doubt about it. And Natty Bialba and take on Royal Park. Well, the Swans, they're basically, a win here will lock them into the top 8 at the moment and maybe just seal their finals berth at this stage.
Had their biggest win of the year against Denali last week. I think it was only 2 goals. It was a cracker game. Yeah, and they'll just be looking to consolidate that with a win over Royal Park. Royal Park got their first win though, so they've proved, you know, maybe they've got a taste for things and a little bit of confidence up. So if they can stay in it for long enough, it's, you know, the game on the line. But I think Natty should get this one. Yeah,
I agree with you on that one there, mate. And the final game, which will sort of, I think it won't be too hard to tip. We've got Talbot and Harcourt. Harcourt, like their senior footy side, sitting in 8 and 2 and looking really good, while Talbot have they've had a tough year, but they've been competitive in patches after that round 1 draw against Maryborough Rovers.
Plenty of progress for Talbot this year. They've had some really tough years in A-grade netball. So what have they got this year? They've got the 2 wins. So that's pretty good for them. That's something that they just haven't had in other years. Whereas Harcourt, yeah, going pretty well as well. So I think I'd have to tip Harcourt just based on ladder positions. But if Talbot can just stay competitive, I think they'd be pretty happy with that effort.
Yeah, I agree with you, mate. Now, where can we read your superstars' famous reports? What days can we be picking up the papers?
So you get all your match reviews in Tuesday's paper, and then a bit of a preview in Friday's paper. Ashland's new to the team, but she's doing a really good job and really enjoying writing about the netball. So yeah, if you see her around the traps, say hello and tell her if you've got any stories that you wanted covered, because she's pretty happy to cover them.
And she's very approachable as well, mate.
I've just stopped her in for a heap of work. I'll probably get yelled at when I get back to the office, but that's okay.
Absolutely, mate. We'll have a sick day and she can pick up all the work that you do, and then there'll be even more trouble. She'll be demanding a pay rise. Well, mate, thanks so much for coming on board and talking netball with us this week, and thanks to the Bendigo Bank for their terrific support as well. And no doubt we'll catch you in the future.
No dramas. Probably back around finals time, I hope. So that's when things are going to get really interesting. Looking forward to it.